Hello, my name's Danny Goad and I reside in Botetourt County. I've lived in Botetourt County for about 20 years now. It's a place I've raised my children and it's a county that I love. It has a great farming community. It has a good mix of residential and a lot of farms, people that live out in the rural areas, and it's just a great place to live. When I talk to my neighbors and friends around me that have moved to the county over the last 20 years, they all have a common theme. They love the beauty of the county. They like to be able to be left alone and have the freedom to get out and get around without the problems that you run into with congestion in cities. A lot of them moved here from Roanoke County because they didn't like the congestion there. Today, I want to talk to you just a little bit about changes that are taking place. Just last month, the Botetourt County Board of Supervisors passed a special resolution endorsing the Gateway Crossing overlay, which is going to open the floodgates for development in Botetourt County. At the same time, they approved 240 additional apartments um, in the same meeting. First, the Botetourt County Board of Supervisors changed the historic name of the county to market it as BOCO. Botetourt County is a county that's rich in history, and we should embrace that and not change to some fad that won't stand the test of time. After changing the marketing name to BOCO, now they're attempting to change the character of the county by approving thousands of apartments, particularly right now in the Daleville area. And today I want to just go over uh, the numbers so far that have been approved, constructed, completed, and in stages of construction. So you'll know where we are and what you can do to help alleviate this situation. Prior to 2014, there were maybe 120 apartments in Botetourt County. I know of 57 on Reed Mountain Road here in Cloverdale, uh, maybe 25 on College Drive in Daleville, a few in Troutville, and scattered about the county, a few apartments here and there. Certainly no more than 120 existed in the county. How many apartments have been added to Botetourt County since 2014? The Daleville Town Center has added 120 apartments in phase one, 98 apartments in phase two, for a total of 218 apartments. The Reserve at Daleville, which is just past Kroger, has 268 apartments. Those are completed. It's on the old Turner property. I'm sorry for the jumbled up picture here, but you can see how apartments crowd farms out of the picture. Right now, construction is underway at Fieldstone. This is just north of Food Line, behind Food Line, and across from Eikenberry's on what is known as the Old Bailey Farm. Those are 288 apartments crowding out farms. When you look at this particular location, you can see some of the trouble that will exist with the overcrowding. When you pull out of this particular intersection as it is now, you'll have to take a right on 220 North and go down. If you want to go south on 220, make a U-turn as the S curves start. If you do that, I encourage you to be very, very careful because it's a completely unsafe condition. This past month, the Board of Supervisors approved 240 additional apartments at the Howard Johnson site. They're close to exit 150 which is part of the Gateway Crossing overlay. There are 240 apartments there. The traffic out of that complex will have to turn right on and head south on 220. And if you want to go to the north on 220, you'll have to go through the intersection of Lee Highway and 220, I guess, and find you a place to make a U-turn, maybe go through the circle at Gateway Crossing. It's really not a good location. It's going to increase the traffic by making loopbacks onto 220 and very much crowd up the roads there. This chart, this table, shows the various stages of apartments as they exist in Daleville. Daleville Town Center, there's a total of 218. The reserve at Daleville are 266 units. Fieldstone, under construction, is 288 units. And the Howard Johnson site has been approved. The total number is 1,012 in a very short period of time. What are the impacts on Botetourt County as a whole? Well, if you say that 2 people live in each apartment, and some of them are 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments, but just taking an average of 2 in each apartment, you very quickly get to a population increase of what is on the books and in the works of 2,024 additional people in Botetourt County. These are real numbers, and they will have tremendous impacts on the congestion in Daleville. Not only Daleville, but extended reaches of Botetourt County, and I'll try to explain that in just a minute. This particular slide shows the potential impacts of apartment growth and construction in Daleville overall as things have been presented. At the meeting, the public meeting for the Gateway Crossing overlay, the question was asked, well, how many apartments could that mean? And the staff of the county, the the representative for the Board of Supervisors, said that if all the vacant land in the Gateway Crossing overlay was developed into apartments, that there could be a total of 2,000 apartments. So we take that 2,000, the number of apartments, and add that to the 1,012 that we already have in process, and then we add another number. There's additional land which is not in the Gateway Crossing, which is in Daleville. It's back up behind Cedar Ridge. There's 45 acres there and developed at the same density that the county assumed these other places would be developed at 24 units per acre. Gives you an additional 1,080 apartment buildings. So you take the total number of apartments that we may be talking about in Daleville alone is 4,092. This is a tremendous number and would have a big impact on Botetourt County. Again, if you take the number of apartments and you assume that there will be 2 people in each apartment, recognizing that some apartments are 1, 2, or 3 bedroom apartments, and that there may be 1 in some apartments, there may be 2, there may be 5 in some apartments. We arrive at an increase in population in Daleville, or in Botetourt County, of 8,184. And that's in Daleville alone. And that figure in itself would cause a 24% increase in the population of Botetourt County. What will result? Well, what will result is there will be so much congestion on 220 North that no one will want to go through there. Particularly trucks heading to Covington won't want to go through there. So what will they do? Well, Botetourt County did a study, VDOT did a study a few years ago to determine what would be necessary to make Brugh Mill Road a suitable bypass and to be able to carry trucks. So that truck traffic could be placed on Brugh Mill Road and the additional vehicular traffic as well, assuming that it would continue and come out at the same place that it does now on 220 North, and you'd probably have a traffic light there. And probably traffic lights all the way to there. Add another one at Greenfield. There'll be one there soon. There's just too much traffic through there, too much turning going on that it won't be. And so there'll be several miles through Daleville that it'll be stop and go. Now that's a troublesome for logging trucks going through to Covington. Trucks carrying pulpwood, chips, sawdust. They don't get on interstate. They don't like to because they pretty much have live loads on their trucks. You know, it's easy for bark to fly off. Their loads shift and sometimes can become loose in their strapping or chains, however they're holding the load. And so they may have rocks and gravel in their tires or rocks between their tires, and they don't want to get up to a high enough speed to possibly damage someone's car going up through there. So they'll be traveling through the town of Troutville and continuing on up to Brugh Mill Road. This has tremendous effects on people in Troutville, Daleville, Fincastle, and anyone in the vicinity of Troutville or Brugh Mill Road, and you know you're right there at Mill Creek. And once a bypass is developed on Brugh Mill Road, then you open another artery for development and further intrusion upon farms. Put more and more pressure on farmers to stop farming. I'd encourage you to be aware of what's going on in the Daleville area. I believe that the way this particular issue was passed, it was done illegally. This particular item was not presented to the people of Botetourt County by the Board of Supervisors. 2 times they weren't given notice in advance of them to study. One of the Board of Supervisors members, Steve Clinton, asked another board member, "Why the rush? Why the rush?" That other board member, Mr. Scotthorn, replied, "I've been working on this since 2016. But what he didn't tell you was that in 2016, this particular development, this gateway crossing overlay, had been tabled. It had been killed. And still the county is working and working and working on the gateway crossing overlay. Keep that in mind. Listen to what's going on in Botetourt County, because Botetourt County is changing in ways that I don't think most people in the county want to happen. Thank you.